Everyone has a bright light inside of them that deserves to be seen by the world. That's why it's time to shine the light on the extraordinary who are accomplishing phenomenal things. This is the Shine Out Loud Show with Lillian Ogbogo.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to another episode of the Shine Out Loud Show. And yes, it's officially the season of giving and all things great. It is Christmas, folks, and it's time to celebrate. Now, I've been accused of being the Grinch that stole Christmas. I will have to just say this once again. I am not the Grinch. I just believe Christmas needs to start in December. And since it's officially December, we're way past the hour. So yes, Christmas has come to my home. So I am ready for the season. But in between that, I had to make sure that I connected with this multipreneur empire building woman. I am talking about the fantastic fashionista, radio media mogul. In fact, I don't think there's enough adjective to describe this woman, so I'm going to let her do some of her description herself. I just think Teela B is just amazing because she's an actress, a model, a mentor. There's so many things we could just keep going on the introduction, but I wouldn't. I will let her join the show. So join me and welcome my very fantastically fabulous guest, Teela B. Hi, Teela.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. Welcome to the show.
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You are welcome. So, you are a radio show host, an actress, a mentor, a model. Have I missed out anything else? You also teach acting as well. I think my first question is, where do you get time to sleep?
You know what? And I have a 9 to 5 on top of that because I am still in the process of crossing over into just the world of celebrity. So I'm still a regular person. So I have all those things going on plus the 9 to 5. So I have time to sleep just when I can, when I just feel like everything is done for the day. And then I take a break. Some days I have to say, okay, Teela, you're not going to do too much because you have to get some rest. So just whenever I can.
Okay, so Teela, why are you an entrepreneur? What made you say, you know what, this is the road I'm going to go down on?
So honestly, growing up, first of all, I don't like to be told what to do. Because by nature, I'm just a leader, and I always have my own thoughts and my own things going on. So when other people tell me what to do, in my head, I'm just like, well, that's not how I see it. So I think for me, it's always been a thing of just creating my own destiny and not letting anybody else tell me what my life should look like. And I've known that at a very young age. So being an entrepreneur is just the thing for me to do.
Okay. So, I read one of your blogs where you talk about being an entrepreneur is almost like being like Bob the Builder. And so how are entrepreneurs different or see the world differently than our 9 to 5 counterparts?
So I say entrepreneurs are like Bob the Builder because you have a vision, and your vision is basically your building or whatever you're constructing. But as a builder, you have to know what pieces you need to make the building what you see the vision as. But sometimes as you're building, you have to think of different materials you can use. You have to think of different colors you can use inside your building. Sometimes the color that you thought would be best in the room is not the best. So you have to go back and you have to paint the wall white, and then you have to start all over again. So to me, being an entrepreneur is like being Bob the Builder because you see your end goal, but you have to work it in order to make it work. So you have to run, you have to walk, you have to crawl, you have to cry, you have to dig, you have to have a shovel. Like, it's all these things that you have to do in order to get to your final destination, which is your building or your empire.
Right. Okay. So there's a uniqueness to the city you grew up in, which was Baltimore. What did growing up in Baltimore instill in you?
Growing up in Baltimore instilled in me to be hopeful. Baltimore is a very hopeful city. I don't know if you know, but a couple years ago we had the riot in our city because of the Freddie Gray case. And there's a lot that goes on in Baltimore there, especially in the part where I grew up. I kind of grew up in not the best neighborhood, but just being hopeful that because you're in this situation or you live in this neighborhood or you live in this community, you go through these things, but this won't be your life. So There's a lot of great in Baltimore. Everything is not so bad as the world might view us as. And I'm a living testimony of that. So just remaining hopeful that what you're going through right now will not always be what you will go through.
Right.
That's good.
And I think that's a very powerful kind of viewpoint to hold, because we're all going to go through things and we're all going to get to a point where we think, you know what, there are things in our way. So to actually walk around with that level of hope, it's like, yeah, you need that as an entrepreneur, as even anybody.
I agree.
So, you know, we look at the many hats that you wear, and one of them is mentor and teacher, and you seem very determined to inspire others. Why is that a core passion of yours to give back to your community?
Because growing up, I had a lot of people, mostly women, who inspired me. And that goes along with being hopeful and living in Baltimore, that you have to just be surrounded by people who are positive, who are doing great things, or who are making the community better. And I grew up being very attached to the people who instilled those positive traits in me. And I just feel that it's necessary to give back, especially to the young women and the preteens in Baltimore.
Okay. So we've said you wear so many hats, and for a long time you were actually doing everything on your own. You were solo. When was your aha moment about, nah, I need to build a team to succeed?
Oh man. It was after my husband told me that he needed a break from everything that I was asking him to do, because he also is an entrepreneur. He has his own business. So I was like, okay, all right, I need to get some people on my team who really believe in me and who I believe in as well, because I can't just keep turning to my left and looking at him and giving him the face and he say, okay. So, and it's important to have people on your team, because two heads are better than one. Yes. And especially if they are very passionate about what they do and you guys connect on a great level, especially a spiritual level, then it's always best to have people in your corner, on your team. And I help them out as well as they help me out, because they're entrepreneurs as well. So it's just a win-win for everybody.
Okay, so, and you talk about helping them out. So here's a question, because, in the beginning as an entrepreneur, sometimes funds can be tight. Are there ways to utilize a team if you don't necessarily have the initial resources to pay for that team?
Yes. Oh, most definitely. And that's where the great relationships come in, and the passion. Because if you are doing something for financial gain, if someone comes to you and they say, well, I will do this if you do this for me, and we can do our services in exchange without any money, then you might get a funny look. But if you are working with people who are passionate about what they're doing and you all have the same end goal, then it won't be hard to say, well, I know what you're going through because I'm going through the same thing. So let's help each other get out. Let's help each other get there. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. And I do like that. I think it's we need to start getting into that space of let's actually find people that we can build a circular economy and, trade services sometimes as we start up, because you have skills they may utilize and vice versa. And I think, we forget that that's a system of economy as well.
And even Issa Rae, she's an awesome actress here in the U.S. I'm not sure if you guys have had a pleasure of viewing her.
Love,
really? Yes,
come now.
So
we know and love Issa.
Yes. So she said on a video that I was watching on Facebook is that she essentially built her team unilaterally, meaning like she worked with people who were on her level, and then they kind of all rose together. So I thought that was profound. And when she said that, I was like, wow, like that's awesome. That's amazing. So I just knew I was going in the right direction, working with people who want to build and grow together, because we're essentially on the same journey, and it just makes it a lot more easier to see people who are in the same realm as you, and you guys growing together. To me, that really, really feels good.
I like that. I like that idea. And I think, it's something that we should all hold on to. Now, you are known as, you're many things to many people. So model, entrepreneur, actress, mentor, teacher, you're so many different things. But my question to you is, what would you say has been one of your biggest challenges as a Black female entrepreneur? In fact, a multipreneur. What has been your biggest challenge?
I won't say, I would just say as an entrepreneur. I won't say a Black female entrepreneur, because I haven't had any instances where I felt like I've been held back because I was Black, or held back because I was female, just because I'm a boss and I do my own thing. And I really don't worry about if somebody's going to give me an opportunity, because if I don't get the opportunity, it's just natural for me to create it. So for me, being an entrepreneur, the hardest thing would be having balance, and being able to get everything done, and not put too much on my plate, and still be a wife, and still be able to have time with my family, and not only be an actress, not only be a model, or just being able to spread myself in a place where I can be all those things, because those things are important to a lot of people.
Okay. And, you talk about balance. How do you balance the, social media aspect and keeping a level of your life as Teela private? How do you make that balance?
So my husband helps me with that. So I like to not blast everything out on social media, because I'm very proud of where I've come from, especially with my confidence in being an entertainer. So he's like, if he sees me taking a picture, he's like, are you going to post that? I'm like, no, I don't have to. So now I'm just being respectful of, his privacy, because he's more of a laid-back person, behind the scenes person. So he's kind of like, my manager. So he keeps me balanced, and, just if you're married, you kind of know when your spouse is kind of like looking at you and giving you the side eye. So that just kind of keeps me balanced, and making sure that I don't put too much of our personal business out there, because I do have to respect the fact that he's not as public as I am. So that's where he comes in to help me create the balance.
Okay. I like that. And we're gonna talk about you and your husband and your unique relationship, because you also work together. We're gonna touch on that. But before we do, I actually want to talk about this, because in 2015 you took part in the No Hate photo shoot, and I looked at some of the images, and they were just really powerful. And you say for you it was a two-step campaign. One was support equality in the LGBT community, and the other to celebrate natural women in America. How did you end up part of that shoot?
Wow, you took it way back. Wow, like just the level of, wow, this is awesome. Okay, so The level of research is great.
Thank you.
No problem. The level, so with this shoot, I was a part of a modeling company, and I was just starting my modeling career. And this was very dear to the leader of the model company. And so we all decided to do the no hate shoot. But I have a lot of friends and some family members who are part of the LGBT community. And I just felt that it was, at the time, it wasn't as big as a movement as it is now. So I just felt like just because I love these people, I can show my support to these people because, you know, they're part of my life. And for the natural woman part, being natural in America was just starting to become a thing. Mm-hmm. And I was just becoming comfortable in myself as a natural Black woman. So for the shoot, it helped me to feel more empowered. It helped me to feel more beautiful, and it helped me to show my sense of style and creativity because we were allowed to style the shoot ourselves. So that's how I took the No Hate campaign, not just on the LGBT level, but also, you know, the African American female level. Like, there's a lot of people who have issues with the community and natural Black women, but I'm a natural Black woman, and I have friends and family that I love who are LGBT. So why not? Why not, you know?
Exactly. And it was just very powerful imagery. So, you know, well done for doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so, you know, we are looking and going into all parts of you because, like I said, there's so much more about you. And I think before we do, let's keep on the modeling conversation because apparently you ended up going on stage for the first time through a modeling shoot. How did you end up? Yeah. How did that happen?
So I was chosen. My friend called me and she said there's a magazine and they are in need of a model of the month, and I think you should go up for it. So I said okay. So I reached out to the chief and editor of the magazine, and I submitted my resume and everything. So I got an interview. And in the interview, we're going over questions to put into the magazine. And then he says to me, I'm also a playwright, and I'm having a play, and I love your personality, and I think that you would be perfect for this role. Are you an actress? And in my head, I'm like, yes, I'm an actress because I'm very over the top, but I hadn't done anything. So me, I always like to improve on things. I always like to try new things. So I was like, sure, I'll do it. And that's how I started my acting career.
Okay, and it was the play Mama's Kitchen, and just looking at where you were going, and let's look at this whole idea right now because we seem to be at the golden age of black movies right now. When you think about it, there's, you know, from the Black Panther, Hidden Figures, you know, Moonlight. Do you think that we have come to that golden age, or like Nina Simone says, we still have terribly far to go before we can actually say, yes, Black actors have arrived, and this is a global question?
I always think that we as Black people, entertainers, what have you, we always have a far ways to go just because it took us a long time to really get started. So we're kind of behind the curve, but we're making great feats. So I do believe that we have a long way to go, but the elite who are representing us now, they are doing an amazing job in their field. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a concrete answer on that question because we do have a ways to go, but what we're doing now is so awesome that to me, it just doesn't matter how far we have to go. Just as long as we continue to do it in excellence, that it really wouldn't matter.
Okay. So you're behind the camera, you're in front of the camera, who inspires you? You've mentioned Issa. So who are the women out there who are behind the camera, in front of the camera, that actually inspire you creatively?
Right now, I'm loving Michelle Obama.
Yes.
She is really being very candid on her book tour. I actually purchased her book, and I haven't started it yet, but I'm looking really forward to that. I just love what she represents and what she embodies, especially with her relationship with Barack and the relationship that she has with America. She's very entertaining. She's very funny to me, and she is very inspiring. So she's one of my inspirations. I also like Oprah because she's so interpersonal, and I think I have those skills that she has, and she wants to do good, and she loves people. So she inspires me in that way. And for now, I'll stick with those two ladies. Those two ladies are really at the forefront. There's many, many others for many different reasons, but where I am in my life, being more comfortable with using me as an inspiration, right. I'll stick with those two ladies.
Okay. Well, you know what? And I think you couldn't have picked better ladies, because Michelle Obama is literally killing it across the globe. She was in London, and there was such a mad rush to get tickets that it was insane. It was insane. It was so insane because just so many of us missed out, and we have been so bereft that she's coming back now.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Good for you guys.
So, you know, as someone who's created a fashion consultancy, which is what you created in 2014, and which has been morphed into the I Am Teela B brand, do you think now is a time for more fashion-forward brand geared for women of color to start collaborating more?
I think so, because we all have a lot of different ideas and a lot of different perspectives that if we were to collaborate, it would be, one Black woman is powerful. But if we, kind of put our forces together and started to collaborate a little more, like what would we be able to do? So collaborating, and I love my Black women. So of course I would love to hang out with them, pick their brains and see, what ideas they have going on, see how I can help, see how they can help me. And if we kind of did that globally and across the board, I think that the respect of the Black woman, especially here in America, it would increase.
Okay. And I actually believe it. I think we need more collaboration, and we need more, like you said, it's a global effort, and saying, yes, we start working together. You asked the question, what would that look like? I mean, it would be such a phenomenon that I don't think anyone is actually prepared for what that would do.
I don't think we're prepared either. That's probably why we haven't done it. But
no, we're not ready.
Because we're speaking on it, we're putting it into the atmosphere. So hopefully things are going to start to change, because it just feels good to be around like-minded women.
Yes.
Especially Black women. For me, it's just like a warm feeling. Like, I do love you, even though we're different, even though we have different upbringings. I do love you. I even did a play in January this year. It was called I've Got a Right to Shout. And it was about the plight of the Black woman from ancient Africa, ancient Africa all the way up until Michelle Obama. And I was able to play the role of Queen Nefertiti, and I was also able to play the role of Michelle Obama. So I was able to play the beginning and essentially the end of the Black woman, and there are two powerful Black women, and because of those roles, it helped to create a more confidence in me. And also there was a segment in the play where the light-skinned Black woman and the dark-skinned Black woman, we had to go back and forth and tell each other our feelings about how our experiences were dealing with each other. And it kind of took me a second to get myself together because the words were just, I hadn't even dealt with those words yet. So that was just a powerful moment for me, especially when it comes to the empowerment and the embracing and the loving of the Black woman. So it kind of put a deeper respect for the Black woman in me.
Well, that must have been very powerful, and especially having to do that conversation piece between the light and dark versions of ourselves. And it's like, I think it's time that we get to that point where we stop having those conversations, not because they're unimportant, but because we no longer have those conversations.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so we're going to come back and to more of your plays because you do have more things coming up, and you have, you know, I find it fascinating that you went from, well, yeah, I am an actress to actually going, you know, your first play and actually being, you know, you're going for feature film as well. So, in fact, I think while we're here, we might as well stay with this. So, theater or movies, which has your heart?
Ooh, I ask my question this all the time because there's different parts of Teela B. Sometimes she's very theatrical. She's over the top. She does way too much. But then there's another part of me who's just, you know, relaxed, more calm. So she comes and goes as she pleases. And my husband breeds dogs, and he started to breed Frenchies, and he gave me one, and I named him Theater. Just because it was the thing that I was doing at the time, and I was doing a lot of plays. But I think movies have my heart just because in movies I can be either theatrical or I can be chill and laid back. But in theater, you just have to be on 100 at all times.
Okay. That's, you know, and that's interesting. And I think I would like to see you in both because based on your energy, I think you can do it quite well. You can straddle both worlds quite well.
Thank you. Oh,
You're
yeah.
welcome.
So I'm going to get a Tony.
Why not?
I'll get them all.
You know, you get a Tony, an Oscar, you get them all. So, hey.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So, you know, you started the A-List training intensive with your hubbager. And for those who don't know what that word is, I didn't just make the word up. She did. Teela made this word up. Apparently, your husband is also your manager. How do you manage the relationship of working with your husband?
So he is kind of a laid-back manager, so he allows me to explore my creativity. He allows me to explore my brand. Right. He allows me to explore the different parts of how I want to represent or roll out and represent as Teela B. And so I just check in with him and ask him what he thinks. He's very wise, especially in business. So he kind of makes sure that I don't make the wrong decisions. He makes sure that I'm talking to the right people. He gives good suggestions. So he's not a micromanager, but if he sees that I'm doing something that is not conducive to the goals we've set, then we'll have a conversation.
Okay. So, and that's also, you know, the part that I look at is, okay, so you have a personal relationship because this is your hubby, but then you also have to have that business conversation and being able to, how do you differentiate that?
To me, there's no difference just because I understand who he is as a person and he understands who I am as a person. And because he's an entrepreneur as well, that we kind of can sense and feel what part we're coming from. So it wasn't always like that, though. So in the beginning, he would say stuff and I was like very emotional about it because I'm very passionate. But now that I'm becoming more in tune with being a businesswoman and understanding the ins and outs of business a little more, I can receive the information and receive the feedback a little different. So I had to kind of grow up a little bit.
Okay. All right.
In order for that to happen.
Okay. And I guess, like you said, your husband and you've taken the time to grow as a businesswoman. So that's also quite helpful. Now, looking at the A-list training intensive, why did you decide to start it?
So it's the A-list acting intensive.
Okay.
And one day I was sitting around and I realized that I wasn't getting any work. I wasn't getting any plays. I wasn't getting any movies. I wasn't getting any commercials. I wasn't getting anything, and I was becoming frustrated. So my husband, he says to me, well, why don't you create your own opportunities? And I was like, well, what do you mean by that? He was like, well, instead of sitting around waiting for these opportunities to come, why don't you just go ahead and you make your own opportunities so that you can get work. So we decided to start the A-list acting intensive, where we have producers come in, we have playwrights, we have directors, we have casting agents. They come in and they teach a criteria, and the students that come to the class, they get to act out the criteria in front of the producers who come in, and they essentially get booked that way. So it's like you get booked almost automatically because you are performing in front of the instructor. And the instructors all have productions coming up, so they're coming in looking for talent. So it's just a win-win-win across the board.
Wow. Okay. That's one way to do it. And I think, like you said, if they're not inviting you to the table, create your own table.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. And, when you look at your creativity, is your creativity and your identity linked?
It is, because I'm able to be myself and express myself through my creativity. So all that comes out in my creative forms as being an actress, a model, a fashion stylist, a mentor, all those things come out of me because that's how I'm expressing myself. So It's just a way for me to put myself out into the world and say, here I am, but through creativity.
Okay. And, we've mentioned all the things that you are, but what we haven't also talked about is you being crowned as the 2018-2019 Newsome Award World Beauty Queen. What are the Newsome Awards?
So the Newsome Awards are an award show in Baltimore, Maryland, based in Baltimore, Maryland, and it's headed by one of the sitting board members former sitting board members of the Stellar Awards, and the Grammys. So this person has background knowledge of how award shows are to go and how prominent they can be. And his name is Fred Newsome, and he's making his brand of the Newsome Awards as big as the Stellars, as big as the Grammys.
Right.
So just him creating his own award show.
Okay. And you've been tagged the beauty queen. So okay, I'm still going to go back to this. You have a day job. You have all of these things. What made you say, yeah, I'm going to add beauty queen to this list?
Oh, man. Oh, just because growing up, I was so fascinated by beauty queens, and I always watched the Miss America pageants growing up. And I always said to myself, I want to be crowned a queen, because to me, that's the ultimate goal. It's the ultimate position that a woman can have, is being a queen. So as I aspire to be everything that I can be, why wouldn't I add a queen to my resume, especially if it's a childhood dream that I've always wanted? And also, when I got married, we went to Vegas, and they were having the Miss America pageant there. And they were trying to get us to come into the show and into the mingling hour. I guess because I was so beautiful and my husband looked so good in his tux. But we had to go get married, so we couldn't go. But to me, that was just like, oh, I'm getting accepted. It was a really good moment.
Awesome. I mean, I think, yeah, you must have been looking something special. And
yeah, they asked us to come in.
Trying to crash your wedding. They need to stop that. So, we've talked about all the really fun and amazing things that you do, but there's also some really brave things that you've been doing recently, because you decided to share about your PCOS on your blog. Mm-hmm. What made you decide to open up about that?
Oh, wow. So I had been going through a stint so PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it affects 1 in every 10 women. And it creates acne, it creates blemishes, unwanted hair, unwanted weight, irregular menstrual cycles, all types of things depending on the woman. And I was going through a really tough stint, and I just couldn't get over it. And I was like, okay, Teela, do you just sit here and wallow in this? Or do you turn it into a positive? Because if you're going through this, then I know there's other women going through it, because it's 1 in 10, and there's 10 women walking down the street. So one of us has it. So if there's another 10 women on another corner, one of those women has it too. So I just decided to use it as an inspiration moment. Me being a mentor, I always want to inspire, and I always want to help people be better. So I thought it would just be a good thing to show the world that, yes, I'm beautiful. Yes, I'm an actress. Yes, I'm a model. But I do have issues that I go through who make me feel not as beautiful or not as worthy. And I just wanted to use that as a way to show people that no matter what you go through, it doesn't stop you or dictate how great or successful or beautiful or empowered you can be. So I just wanted to use it as an inspirational moment.
Well, that's very, we need more conversations like this. We need more women opening up and talking about these things consistently. We need to have more conversations about the fertility issues that we, as especially women of color, are suffering and going through. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, you shared this. How have your followers responded?
Oh, wow. That day when I posted that, so I had been thinking about posting something for about 2 months. So something in me just said, okay, just go ahead, write the post, hit the send button, and then turn your phone off, because I was naturally nervous and a little afraid of the reactions that I would get, because I had posted pictures of me without my makeup on with the acne scars. So I just didn't know how I would be received. So when I essentially turned the phone back on, the phone was going crazy. Notifications everywhere.
Wow.
So people, my followers and fans and friends and family, were all saying how proud of me they were, how they too were going through some of the same issues, how they too have PCOS, how it has inspired them to deal with some of their own issues that they don't talk about. So the love was felt, the love that I put out was received, and then they all gave it back to me, and it was kind of overwhelming. So I did cry.
Oh.
But it was a good moment. It was.
Yeah, okay. So, I read your blog and I read the conversations that you shared in it. You talked about battling moments of depression from living with the condition. Mm-hmm. How do you manage the depression?
So I write a lot of affirmations, And if I'm feeling down, I'll go to them and I'll read them.
Okay.
Or I'll pray because I'm very spiritual. And then sometimes I just take a moment to just be still because there's something that's off balance. There's something that's going on with me that makes me not feel at my best, and it's my job to figure out what that is. So I just take a moment with myself. If I have to clear the schedule, I will. If I have to take the day off, I will, because you essentially have to take care of yourself, especially if you're dealing with mental health issues. So I just essentially am learning to take care of myself mentally. I've done it physically. I've done it physically. So it's just time for me to take care of myself mentally. And I really stand by that.
You know, and that's really powerful, because there's something powerful about knowing when to stop, when to say, hey, you know what? I can't today, and all I need to do is sit and be still. And I think it takes a lot of bravery to actually face that and say, yeah, this is where I'm at. Yeah,
I agree.
So with everything you do, being in the spotlight with all your different businesses, how do you deal with your doubts when they come up?
Oh, wow. They come up every day, all the time. I even doubted this interview. I was excited for it because this is my first international exposure. So this is great. So thank you very much for this opportunity. This opportunity is amazing for me.
Oh, you're welcome.
No problem. But I'm sorry, I got so passionate, I forgot the question. Can you say it again? Jeez Louise.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love it. I go, with everything you do and, you know, being in the spotlight, how do you deal with your doubts? And you yes.
Yeah, the doubts. Okay. So I just am aware that they're there. And I bring my faith into it. And I'm a very faithful person. My faith is like on fleek. Just because I know, do you know what fleek is? Do you guys say that over there?
So Teela,
have you heard it?
let's stop for a moment and let's be real. You see, London is not under a rock, despite what y'all think. We out here. We know the words.
See, that's why we need to collaborate as Black women more, just because I wouldn't be sounding crazy on this interview. But my faith is on fleek. So because I know that I have a big assignment, and the only way to get this assignment of my purpose done is to be faithful. So I just bring my faith into it, and I just make sure that I don't let the negativity overpower the positive. So I always just try to stay positive. But the doubts do come up. They come up all the time, but you can't live in it. You have to kick it and step over it and keep going.
You know what? I think that's, if there's anything anyone needs to take from the interview today, I think that should be it. That it will always come up. It will always be there. And you may get to a certain level, you may grow, but you have different doubts at that other level. And you just need to, like you said, kick it and keep stepping over them.
Yep.
I love that. So looking at your journey so far, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
Ooh. My 18-year-old self was off the hook. She was not as focused on life or success or purpose or love or any of that at 18. Right. So at 18, I would tell my 18-year-old self, but I did always know that I would be great. So I would just say to myself at 18, leave the boys alone. The right one will come. And you will make it. Take your time. Enjoy the ride.
Okay.
And that's what I would say to my 18-year-old self.
Awesome. So I know you're an avid reader, and so here's my question. What are you currently reading, or what was the last book you read?
The last book I read was Mother of Black Hollywood.
Okay.
And that, I've read that about 2 months ago.
Okay.
And I'm reading, I haven't read Michelle Obama's book yet, but it is the thing to pick up on my day off from work tomorrow. So I will be reading that starting tomorrow.
Awesome. You mentioned the book, The Black Hollywood. Who wrote that?
So Mother of Black Hollywood is by Jennifer Lewis, and she's an American actress. And I'm pretty sure you guys know about Jennifer Lewis too, because she's awesome. She's amazing.
Yeah. We Yes, we know Jennifer Lewis. She is she's an amazing actress, and we love her on Blackish. And yes.
Yeah, her book was phenomenal.
Okay.
She helped, and because she suffers with some mental illness and some childhood issues that are kind of like mine, that the book really helped me to be more confident as an actress and as a woman. So it was a great book.
Okay, I would add that to my reading list, and I would put that link out, because I think we need to have, more books that we can access from phenomenal Black women out there who are sharing their stories. Yes. So, we have come to that point in the show when we talk about our So Loud moment of the week. So, Teela, what is your So Loud moment of the week?
So my So Loud moment just changed because before I was at this interview, well, it's a little two-part. So before I was at the interview, I was at work, and I was scrambling to get to a nice, quiet, beautiful place so I could have a great interview. And just as I was leaving work, there was a woman, and I work retail, if you guys didn't know. And there was a woman who was asking to return something that she had worn. And I told her that it wasn't possible because I'm the manager and all the advisors are calling on me to make this issue correct. Right. So I told her that she couldn't bring it back because it was worn. And she kind of threw her hand up at me, kind of waved me off. And so I said to her, okay, well, I guess this conversation is over because you waved me off. And then she said to me, no, I didn't mean it like that. And this woman was a white woman. And she said, no, I didn't mean it like that. And I won't be that woman. Or I won't be that girl. And then she proceeded to grab my hand, and she kind of, held it tight, pleading her case. Mm-hmm. And so I told her, I appreciate you, and I didn't take it in that manner, but because you waved me off, the conversation is now over, and I hope you have a great day. And she understood, and it could have gotten a little bit messy in that situation, but just the fact that she was able to remain composed and I was able to remain composed, I thought that was a great moment, especially in the time that we're in right now, that situations may come up where there are differences, but you don't have to make it bigger than what it should be.
Yes.
So that was really humbling to me because I've grown a lot, and in that situation, I've seen videos where it's gone very left, but the fact that we both were able to leave on, an okay basis was pretty good. So that's the first one. And then the second one is just the fact that I'm on this show and able to talk to your followers and your listeners over in the United Kingdom. And for me, a young little Black girl from Baltimore City is able to converse with somebody on the other side of the world, to me, just says a lot about where I've come from and where I'm going. So this is like a really, really, really good moment for me, for my soul, for my career, for my confidence, and for my life, just because I have so many goals that seem big. But just this interview is just showing me that I'm on the right path. And I'm getting a little emotional because having hardships growing up and then being able to see yourself blossom is just a really good feeling. So thank you.
Teela, I'm getting emotional. Oh my Lord. We appreciate you for all that. And yeah, you're right. The other situation could have gone left very quickly and downhill. So, and I think you're right, in this age where it's quick to break down to being a Becky conversation versus a Black woman conversation. You decided, no, she's a person, I'm a person, and I'm going to deal with her as such. So for that, Teela, you're getting a serious round of applause right here.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I love it.
So, you know, it's really, for me, it's an honor to get you on the show and actually talk and spend time, because when I think about all the things that you're doing and the fact that you still have a day job, I'm thinking, where does this woman sleep? How does she sleep? How does she function? So here's my question. When you look back on your life, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be, when people think of the name Teela B, I want them to feel warm, because it's not about what you do, it's about how you make people feel. And that's, to me, what a legacy is. It's not what you've done, it's how people remember you, how they made you feel. So I want people to feel loved. Right. Or feel loved when they say my name. I want them to feel strong. I want them to feel empowered. And I want them to have all good things. And not everybody's not going to have all good things to say. But, you know, that I really made a difference in the world, especially in the Black community, just because I love my Black people so much. And I know that we go through so much. But it's nothing that we can't overcome, because I've overcome a lot. And if I can overcome a lot, I know everybody can overcome. So just a positive feeling of motivation, inspiration, empowerment, and actually changing the mindset of Black America.
Okay. For some odd reason, your website, which is open and been quiet the whole time, on my laptop decides to play your intro music.
Really? Can you hear it?
Your website had been open and quiet and decided, no, now really? You're talking, I'm just going to play your intro music.
That's God telling me you're on the right path. See how that works? That's funny.
I was like, what are you doing? Why are you playing?
That was the perfect moment. Like, that was the plot twist of the whole interview. Love it.
Okay, so your legacy is to be remembered for what you've done for your community, in your business, and how you've made other people feel. And I think as far as legacies go, that is one that is one that anybody will want. Because it's not about the money, it's not about the fame, it's about what did you do with all of that. Yeah. And speaking of that, you have another project coming up, which is your mentorship program for young boys and girls. Tell us a bit about this project coming up.
So it's a project that's near and dear to my heart. I haven't even really rolled it out yet. So it's just, it's a love offering, so to speak. So the name of it is going to be the Royal Sisterhood Brotherhood Experience, just because I want, because I said that's to me, the the most honorable goal or the honorable position is to be a king or a queen, because where else can you go? So I just want, the young boys and the young girls who will become a part of the program to see themselves as kings and queens, and to start to strive to become those kings and queens that they are.
Okay. So how can people connect with you, Teela?
So they can follow me on all social media. My handle is the same throughout. It's I Am Teela B. Teela spelled Teela. So I Am Teela B. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I have a website, www.imteelab.com. And if you log into from a PC or a laptop, you can hear my theme song. And that's usually the intro to my radio shows. So yeah, that's how they can contact me and follow me.
Okay. So I have my last question. This is last question time, like Columbo. As a fashion diva, a makeup artist, if you had to wear only one item of makeup for a year, what would it be?
Oh, man. Just one?
Just one. You only get one.
Okay. So my husband could probably answer this question. He would say my lip gloss, because I hate a dry lip. And even in my sleep, I have to put lip gloss on before I go to sleep. So like when the lights are out and he'll like roll over and he'll say like, the only thing I see is your shiny lips. Just because I can't wake up in the middle of the night to get water or go to the bathroom and feel like dry lips. So they just have to be like, I just have to have my lip gloss at all times.
Are you seriously?
No, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
Oh,
I am.
That is hilarious. Okay, thank you so much, Teela, for being on the show tonight.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, it's been fun having you. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have just had the pleasure of listening to Teela's empire building story. Now, I suggest you want to find out some more, connect with her via her social media handle, which is the same across all platforms. I Am Teela B. And reach out to her and find out about what drives her passion and her creativity. And also, if you need her in your next play, she's also available. So, folks, this is a wrap. I cannot thank our guests enough for being on the show tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So, folks, it's a wrap. So join us for our last show. Same time, same place. And you know what to do. If you're loving the show, leave us some love on iTunes, drop us a message on our social media. And if you have someone or are someone that we should have on the show, reach out to us via our contact list, contact us page on our website at shineoutloud.tv, and we will be in contact. So once again, I'm sending my heartfelt thank you to my incredible guest, Teela B. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Shine Out Loud Show. If you want to connect with us or let us know what you thought of today's show, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Shine Out Show.